Wassup YouTube, PokePrimer here, ready to deliver you our Week 8 team builder in the PFL Major Leagues here on the channel. This week we have our rematch, one of our divisional rematches here against Rampage and the Indiana Reapers. We beat Rampage last time fairly easily. I don't think we've ever lost to Rampage, so I'm not too worried about this match, but I'm not gonna... He's changed his team a lot, and I don't really understand some of the changes. So we'll see what happens with this, but his team consists of Tyranitar, Bisharp, Chandelure, Haxorus, Medicham, Mega Swampert, Togekiss, Toxicroak, Charizard, and Gardevoir. So, first thing I want to note is I'm going to put my team prediction together right now as to what he's going to bring. I think he's definitely bringing Bisharp because he always brings Bisharp because Bisharp is his signature thing, which never works against me because he doesn't know how to use it right. Chandelure, Haxorus, and Mega Swampert and Togekiss because every time I've battled him, he's had these Mons, and he's brought those Mons. So, the only one that's up in the air is I'm torn between him bringing Miss Magius because he needs speed, because if he doesn't bring Miss Magius, then he's going to have a really slow-ass team. Toxicroak because he brought that last time. Maybe the Gardevoir, so he has a... No, he won't bring the Gardevoir if he brings Togekiss. Maybe the Medicham, potentially? I don't know. So he has something else that could take a fighting hit for his stupid Bisharp, because he likes to protect the Bisharp and try to win with it, which he never does. He's currently like 1 and something at this point in the season, so I'm just kind of like, meh. Like I'm gonna prep hard enough that I can beat him, but I'm not really stressing over this match at all. I'm just kind of like throwing this team together quick. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First mono bringing Chimpact, the Infernape, Iron Fist, Life Orb. Enough speed to outspeed literally his entire draft. His entire draft is outsped. Well, actually, hold on. Let me make sure about that. Hold on. Did I put the right amount of speed into my Infernape? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yep, I put the right amount of speed. This will outspeed his entire team. So, that's good. This outspeeds his entire draft. Mach Punch will murderize the Bisharp and 2 KOs the Tyranitar, depending on his bulky enough spread. Close Combat is there as a backup plan so I can kill the Tyranitar and murder everything else involved. Murder everything else I can murder with it. It'll tear through Bisharp and Tyranitar, though. Those are the main threats here. We have the Earthquake for the Chandelure, which you might want to try to switch into this thing. We also have it for the Toxicroak, if he brings it again, which I could see him bringing again, so I'm not worried about it. And then we have Gunk Shot, because I want to have enough poison coverage so the Togekiss can't set up a nasty plot and be annoying. I want to be able to just go into something else and blow it back with a Gunk Shot, or blow back the Gardevoir with a Gunk Shot. I'm not worried about either of those Mons, so I can Gunk Shot them and kill them. The rest of the spread outside of max attack and enough speed to outspeed is just random EVs thrown everywhere, so I have an odd number of HP, and then the other 4 just went into the defenses. Not a big deal. Next up, we have Life Orb, Reckless, Staraptor. Again, same kind of deal with him. I outsped everything I needed to outspeed. This thing actually outspeeds a max speed Haxorus. This thing this outspeeds an Adamant Haxorus. See, I always prep for level 50 because everyone always wants to battle in DS, but I have it written down at level 50 with the speeds and everything, but lately we've all been battling at level 100, so it's like I'm trying to remember the reasonings behind certain things. Yeah, Adamant I got outspeed an Adamant Haxorus. I outspeed something. I outspeed something at max speed. I outspeed Modest. I don't outspeed Modest Charizard. What am I outspeeding that I was worried about? What was I outspeeding? What were you outspeeding at level 50? 50. Was the goal actually Adamant Haxorus? Yeah, the goal was Adamant Haxorus. So we outspeed Adamant Haxorus, and we can annihilate it with a Brave Bird. Basically, the goal with this thing was to wall break. So we went with Adamant. This thing just basically is able to click Brave Bird and nuke something, and if it's not nukeable, like Tyranitar and Bisharp, which are the only two things on his entire draft, and I mean the only two things in his entire draft. His entire draft of 11 Mons that can switch into this thing are T-Tar and Bisharp. Because this spread of Staraptor actually nukes his entire draft. Like, I'm just going to throw this out. I'm going to throw this up into the calcs, and you're just going to see real quick how utterly insane this Pokemon is. Okay? So we got this baby in the calcs. Staraptor. Starscream. Boom, baby. Get that life orb. I'm going to go through his team, okay? Tyranitar. We hit my caps lock. Tyranitar. We hit my caps lock. Tyranitar. If it's a bulky, physically defensive variant, which is the only set that really would make sense, Brave Bird only does 26 to 31%, but Close Combat does 118 to 140. And obviously we outspeed, so I'm not worried there. Bisharp. Bisharp, my boy. He would probably be running a Swords Dance set, because that's what he always runs. Brave Bird does a little over half. We outspeed. Sucker Punch would potentially be able to kill us, but he never likes to click Sucker Punch when he should. So, probably won't click it, but Close Combat does 260 to 307%. Not really worried about it. I can literally just predict it to switch in, and it dies. Chandelure. Chandelure, my friend. Choice Scarf Chandelure, why not? Dies to a Brave Bird, 132 to 156. Haxorus, my friend, my buddy, 118 to 139. Medicham, friend, you die twice, don't you? No, you die 3 times, 305 to 361. Miss Magius, pal, friend, oh, you're dying too? You're dying too? How about 131 to 154? Mega Swampert may be able to switch into 1. Barely. It's a 12.5% chance Oko, 85 to 100.8. And at that point, you don't outspeed me, so you're kind of getting killed. Togekiss, my friend. What are you trying to do here? 81 to 95% if it's a timid set, which he will probably run because he wants to have that nasty plot Togekiss. So he's not going to be as bulky as he might want to be, and he will probably die to 2 Brave Birds because I'll outspeed him. Toxicroak. Toxicroak, let's see those calcs, boy. Let's see those calcs, my boy. Oh, you died almost. You died a little over 3 times. 294 to 346. Charizard. Regular Charizard. You can put in some work here, buddy. You can put in some work. You can save your team. Can you save your team, Charizard? No, you can't. To 130 to 154. And Gardevoir. Last but not least, Gardevoir. How you doing, Gardevoir? Oh, 163 to 192. You see my point. This thing, he has no switch-ins. The only switch-ins he has, if I click Close Combat, his switch-in dies. So, essentially, I just put Starscream on the field, I click Close Combat until Bisharp / Tyranitar are dead, and then I take it off the field, get rid of the defense drops, and then I put it back on the field and click Brave Bird, and then I win. I just win. Everything will die. I just win. Especially if I can get rocks up, because he has his hazard removal. This is funny. His hazard removal is Defog Togekiss, which he's been running Nasty Plot Togekiss since the first time I battled him, and Defog Charizard, which is not really effective. I have U-turn for that purpose of getting out, unless I could potentially see something being scarfed, and then I will avoid using U-turn. I'll just hard swap. And then I have Roost to make sure I get HP back after I Brave Bird a few things, because I'm going to need it, because between Brave Bird and Life Orb, my HP is going to drop like a rock. But Starscream is just going to nuke his team like no one's business, which is great. We have Raiden, the Mega Manectric. Raiden is a beautiful creature. With 16 speed and Timid Nature, I will outspeed an Adamant Haxorus, which is, again, something I definitely see him bringing. 100% almost. Guarantee him bringing. Now, why do I want to outspeed Adamant Haxorus and not worry about outspeeding everything else? Because other things that I would be outspeeding if I outsped Adamant Haxorus, I'm not worried about. This actually outspeeds Timid Toxicroak, I believe. Or Toxicroak, max speed. Jolly 295. Doesn't seem right. Seems slow. We outspeed pretty much everything else. We outspeed Toxicroak. We outspeed his whole draft. Never mind, I'm stupid. I'm looking at things awkwardly, but we outspeed the entire draft with this speed. Max special attack, 240 in HP, so that Intimidate can come through. Lessen those physical hits. We don't have to worry about them. Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, HP Grass. Again, this is the exact same moveset I ran last time, because it's all I needed. Volt Switch. I can Volt Switch on anything that's not the Mega Swampert, and it's going to do a lot of damage. I can Thunderbolt anything that's not the Mega Swampert, and it's going to do a lot of damage. Flamethrower is going to do a lot of damage to a lot of things besides Mega Swampert, and I have HP Grass for the Mega Swampert. Problem solved. Alright, moving on. Nothing too spectacular here. We have the Human Scolipede, Life Orb, Speed Boost, Swords Dance, Mega Horn, Rock Slide, and Earthquake, barring not missing a Mega Horn. This thing does outspeed Mismagius, so after one speed boost, any Scarfers will be outsped. Mega Horn, Rock Slide, Earthquake is all that I need. Mega Horn will nuke the Tyranitar, nuke the Bisharp. Earthquake nukes the Bisharp. Earthquake, Rock Slide, nuke the Chandelure. Anything's going to nuke the Haxorus after a Swords Dance. We're going to nuke the Medicham after a Swords Dance. With Mega Horn, we can nuke the Mismagius with anything after a Swords Dance. We can really do big damage to the Mega Swampert after a Swords Dance. We can nuke the Togekiss with a Rock Slide after a Swords Dance. Earthquake for the Toxicroak. Rock Slide for the Charizard. Mega Horn for the Gardevoir. We have moves that can kill everything on his team, especially after a Swords Dance. So if we get a Swords Dance up on Scolipede, we win. Barring a miss, we win. So there's that. Again, straightforward. Like I said, I didn't put too much thought into facing Rampage because I didn't expect it to be a very difficult match. I'm not going to feel like I'm going to have to struggle through this match. I feel like it's going to be a very easy, straightforward match that I'm going to be able to play fairly safe. I'm going to be able to just kind of make the plays I need to make when I need to make them, because he's very, very predictable at this point. I reached the point where I can predict what Rampage is going to do fairly well. So this thing can just beat his whole team. Great stuff. We have Weasley, the Rocky Helmet Rough Skin, Physically Defensive Druddigon, because I feel like if there's anyone that can make fault for this, it's going to be him. I feel bad giving him so much shit, but it's just, it's the same shit every time. So I'm not, like, really stressing. But this thing switches into a lot of his physical mons and just kind of eats a hit and does a lot of damage back to them. We can switch into Bisharp. We can switch into Mega Swampert. We can switch into Medicham. Haxorus doesn't want this. Haxorus don't want that Rough Skin Rocky Helmet. Plus a Sucker Punch. It doesn't want all of that. We can glare something and paralyze it if something wants to try to switch in. We'll maybe the Togekiss even. We can glare it and paralyze it, and then we can Gunk Shot the Togekiss if that's the situation. Then we have Stealth Rocks. If we can set up our rocks, we essentially can win with the previously mentioned Mons, just because the little chip damage we need comes from Stealth Rocks, and if we can get rocks up, then we win. So, go Weasley. Best of luck to you, my friend. We have Shell Shock the Blastoise, Assault Vested Torrent, Physically Defensive Blastoise, because again, his physical mons are more threatening than his special mons, because his special mons consist of Chandelure, doesn't threaten Blastoise by any means. He's got Mismagius, doesn't threaten Blastoise by any means. Yeah, Togekiss doesn't really threaten Blastoise by any means. His Toxicroak, because he always brings special Toxicroak, because I don't know why, doesn't threaten Blastoise at all. Charizard does not threaten Blastoise. Gardevoir does not threaten Blastoise. Rapid Spin, Scald, Aura Sphere, and Counter. Aura Sphere is for the T-Tar and Bisharp, so we can hit those things. Scald is for the T-Tar, but more also for the Chandelure and Charizard, so we have something to hit those with. Rapid Spin to keep hazards off our side of the field, and we run Counter this week because a +1 Haxorus, we can actually eat a hit from a +1 Haxorus, which is good. We can eat a hit from +1 Haxorus at fully physically defensive, and then we can counter it and KO it. We can eat a hit from we can definitely eat any hit from Mega Swampert, counter it and KO it. We can eat a hit from Bisharp, counter KO. T-Tar, counter KO. Medicham, counter KO. You get the point. We can eat a hit from all of its physical attackers, counter them, and KO them. So, yeah. Outside of that, I really don't think there's anything else I need to say. Again, I'm not worried about this matchup. This is going to be a very, very easy match, in my opinion. I'm not going to really have to worry too much about this. So, we're just going to go ahead and end this one off here. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, I'm PokePrimer, signing off. What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, ready to deliver you our Week 8 battle here in the PFL. I did originally record this live com, but my girlfriend was sleeping at the time, and once I re-listened to the video, the audio was completely non-existent, 100%. So, in that sense, I kind of had to just scrap it and do it all over again here. So, we're here. This is our Week 8 match against... it's our rematch against Rampage and the Indiana Reapers. I believe that's what the name is. I don't even know anymore. Nor do I care. Sorry. I'm gonna be honest. His team obviously hasn't changed. You saw the team builder already, so you know what we brought to face off against him. His team this week, he decided to bring the Bisharp, the Togekiss, so 2 returning members, as well as the Chandelure and the Mega Swampert. I'm not sure if he brought the Haxorus last time. I'm not totally positive. I can go back in time and pull out that magical knowledge. Looks like he did, in fact, bring the Haxorus last time. So basically, 5 out of 6 members are the same. He just switches out the Toxicroak for the Medicham. So, interesting choices here. As you can see, his team is slow. His team is slow. He has nothing over base 100. So, that means immediately Staraptor is faster than his whole team. Infernape is faster than his whole team. Mega Manectric is faster than his whole team. Scolipede is faster than his whole team. 4 out of my 6 mons are faster than everything he has, which is fantastic for me. So, without further ado, let's not waste any time. Let's go right into this. We're going to set the speed to normal. We're going to actually switch sides to start things off. So he leads with his Togekiss, as I actually lead with my Blastoise. I choose to switch out, go into my Manectric, because he goes for the nasty plot. So I'm like, not liking that. So I do Mega Evolve. I do have to go for the Volt Switch or Thunderbolt to try and get damage on that thing. He is going to switch into the Swampert, which is a good play on his part. I'm going to now swap into my Staraptor, as he's going to go for a Power Punch to counteract my Intimidate, which is I guess, interesting prep. I do just go for the Brave Bird. I have no reason not to. I knew it would do a large amount of damage. I knew it would die regardless if it didn't kill him, which I was fine with. I didn't care. I just wanted this thing chunked down so that I can get quickly revenge kill it with my Scolipede, which is what I do. I do just come out and Earthquake it with my Scolipede and take it out. He's going to go into Gypsy here, and I don't know why he did that, because he knew I outspeed him. He didn't even attempt to fake me out, so I did just go for the Mega Horn at Oko. So I don't know why he wasted his Medicham like that. I do just Mega Horn his Haxorus here as well, and I am just going to go ahead and die to the Rock Slide. But I do get a massive chunk of damage, and Scolipede does put in some work against Rampage's offensive threats early on. I do go into Mega Manectric here to get the Intimidate, and I see that the Volt Switch will kill, so I do just Volt Switch on this thing and then go immediately into Weasley, as he's going to go into the Togekiss. And my play here was 100% to click Gunk Shot. I believe I did bring Gunk Shot once again, so I do go for that, but he flinches me with the Air Slash. And he's going to go for the Dazzling Gleam to make sure that it kills. The Air Slash was mainly just to get me in range of the Dazzling Gleam, which is smart on his part. Now I can just freely Thunderbolt, and it's going to do 85% to the Togekiss, which is great. I'm going to take a Dazzling Gleam, but it's not going to be too big of a deal. Very offensive Togekiss, but I do take it out there with a second Thunderbolt. In comes the Bisharp, and obviously Bisharp's scary. I don't like Bisharp. It's a pain in the ass. But I'm going to switch here, because I don't want to die to a Sucker Punch. So I'm going to go into Chimpact here, and he is going to reveal the Sucker Punch. Now, he knows he's dying to a Mach Punch. But so that's fine. So I do go for the Earthquake, trying to predict that. He is Air Balloon, which is kind of annoying. So I am going to now go into my Shell Shock, and he's going to Confuse Ray. Rampage. An Energy Ball predicting a switch would have looked great here. But you go for a Confuse Ray? Really? Really? That's what you went for? Confuse Ray. Come on. That's just disgusting. That's not even cool. Like, that's not even Swagger. Swagger at least has a chance to... It is viable. Confuse Ray is just stupid. Confuse Ray is just wasting my time. And making me take longer to kill you. But he's going to go for Calm Minds now, which is terrifying. But I'm going to break through my first round of confusion. I'm going to get the Scald off. Pop his balloon. Ha ha ha. He's going to go for a Shadow Ball. I'm going to eat that shit. I get the Spadef drop, but that's fine. I go for another Scald. That's totally fine. Even with the Spadef drop, I believe, Assault Vested Blastoise, if I remember correctly. I do just go for a third Scald, and I'm able to take out the Shandy. Lastly, he goes into the Bisharp. He goes for an Iron Head. Now, I've seen him go for neutral moves on Pokemon before, when it didn't make sense to go for neutral moves on Pokemon before. And, you know, I would have been okay with that if he had gone for a neutral move. You know, if he'd gone for something like a knockoff or a Sucker Punch. That would have made sense to me. That would have actually made sense. But he goes for a resisted hit, and we live on 1%. He deserves this Aura Sphere to kill his Havoc. He actually deserves it there. He handed me that extra kill on Blastoise. And that's the game right there. I don't even know what else I can say at this point. Yeah, he kind of handed me that kill on his Bisharp. Cool, I guess. Thanks for that free kill. I'll take it anytime. If you want to give me one. I like free kills. I'm not going to complain about it. So, yeah. That's a 3-0 win for us. Next week we have an extremely tough test. Alicia, who beat us in the minor leagues, we have our chance at revenge against her. We are already 0-1 in our revenge matches because Stephen was able to beat us earlier this season. And now we have our second chance for revenge against Alicia. So hopefully we can come out on top in that match. We do have our rematch, our match against Jamal later this season. So, hopefully we can win those two and get some form of redemption for minor leagues. But, yeah, we'll see how that match goes next week. But if you guys have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like down below. I can't imagine you having enjoyed this match. It was kind of awkward. But, yeah. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.